Peace. Welcome everybody out there in the land, Webo Vision, wherever you watching this show from. Joshua Miller and producer, Miller Talk Time, Trey Carter. Trey Carter.
What's going on?
Point to the people.
Oh yeah.
Alright. You know what we do every time around this time before we get started, make sure we clear ourselves before we say anything wrong. We do this. Read the disclaimer. Pay attention. The views of this program are the views of the host and their guests. So if you have a problem with anything that is said, just remember we said it. And if you don't like it, what can they do, Trey Carter?
Watch something else.
Well, why in the hell would you want to do that?
You would.
You wouldn't. We got a special guest, like we always do it, you know. We got a special guest in the crib, you know, in the studio.
What up, what up, what up?
Jay Beasley, you know, he is a student in the greater Memphis area, also a great musician, you know. And so he's gonna be holding it down for us today, helping us do this show the right way. And as you can see on your screen, today's topic, hip hop.
Hip hop.
Past, present, and the future. As you can see or listen in the background, playing all instrumentals today, T.I. Be Easy. He's one of the current hottest rappers out there in the market. You know, so before I do my spiel and tell y'all what I gotta say, Trey Carter, what's good?
Well, I know hip hop is probably the biggest topic on everybody's mind right now with dealing with commercial sales, talking about how just business goes now. There always seems to be a little piece of hip hop somewhere to be found, even if it's just the jargon people use in the boardroom these days. So we felt that it's more, we've had enough time to get everything out the way. So now we can definitely spend some good time on hip hop and see how it's affected our landscape, culture, and just the way things happen these days. Everything has something to do with hip hop.
Yeah.
So let's get it cracking, man.
Well, you can see you got JB's in the studio. He's throwing the thumbs on it, you know. And we did a brainstorming session, but you know, JB, since you do your thing, you rap, you know, musician. Tell me how you feel about it.
Well, hip hop, you know, it's wow. The world, you know, to me at least.
Yeah.
Wake up, you got to do everything in hip hop. You know, when we spoke, we talked about doing the show. We were really concerned about, you know, the different topics we were talking about, and I threw out on there, what does hip hop mean to you? You know, hip hop. A lot of people don't realize that it's not just music; it's a culture, and you have different elements to hip hop, such as, you know, the MCing, the DJing, turntablism.
Yeah.
You have the fashion, you have the slang, you have everything else that's going on, the dance, and you know, it's being fed to us through the media in different ways and different spurts. People may not realize it's, you know, underlying hip hop themes.
Yeah. So, but there's a long, rich history to it, and I'm looking over the notes that you got out. You know that, you know, it started in the South Bronx. A lot of people, you know, want to say that, you know,
Yeah.
and I mean, truth be told, you know, they were the first ones with house parties, turntables, and all this and that. Kool Herc was one of the originators.
Yep.
But the thing with what we talking about today is the past, present, and the future. But in the past, what I feel was it was started as a way to just voice opinion about things going on in the neighborhood, you know, as well as make people feel good and dance around and take away from, you know, real world issues.
Well, it was like, you know, the block party, everything was popping in, and that was how the people got together, and that's how Kool Herc got his start. Being from, he grew up in Jamaica, and the people would get together and jam, and the MCing started with him, and the DJing started with him, and people would just rap and talk over music and do poetry over subjects, and just let the people in the neighborhood dance around and know what's going on, and just, you know, make people feel good and feel alive or whatever. So that's how it started. And then, you know, now we have MCs, you know, it's commercials, people, the MC is the focus rather than the DJ.
Right.
And, you know, it used to be the DJ would spin and the MC would just go out there and, you know, make the people, you know, feel them and feel the DJ and just hype the DJ up. Now, you know, you have the transition over so many years that the DJ has been thrown behind, and, you know, the MC is the product that usually is sold to the people. So.
All right. Well, I got something to say about that. But Trey Carter, what's your view on it, man?
Well, I think I know that most of the time I've seen, and it's been documented, that the African American race has been very creative in entertainment. And I believe this is one of those those seeds that was planted that grew to become one of the biggest forces on Earth. Right. It's taking over the whole world. Yeah, the origination of hip hop started from just the forms of expression where you have the persons hosting an event. Well, what's the difference between, they wanted to figure, okay, mom and dad could play the turntables, play some Marvin Gaye, etc. But the young folks said, we got to do something, we got to have some fun, we got all this energy, all this to say, all this expression. That's when these new forms came with the scratching and the DJs and the people rhyming behind it. It didn't yet have that name as hip hop. It didn't even have a term as rapping, but you knew when someone had the gift of gab and could get behind the beat, stay on beat, make it rhyme, you get a little, get a little competition between two or three, and now you got a little rap battle.
Before we get into the rap battles, something that that I like KRS-One, Knowledge Reigns Supreme, and what he said in one of his famous lines is, rap is what we do, hip hop is we live in it. Hip hop is what we live, but rapping is what we do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And take it from that, I think it ain't gone from that point to where it is today, because back in the day, people weren't really it wasn't a job. Right. Rapping and hip hop wasn't a job.
Just your passion.
It's just a passion to do. But now with major labels sinking dollars into these rappers, feeding them, they provide for their families. Actually, a 9 to 5 nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know what I'm saying. And we're gonna keep moving on with what's going on. And today is the present, and we got newer rappers. It went from the Kool Hercs, the KRS's ones, the LLs. I mean, LL's still relevant, but nowadays we got 50. T.I.
Ross. And also with hip hop,
Ross.
Hip hop grew, and I think it went from a passion and something you just did because you loved it to now become. Some people back in the day were probably would be considered on the list of greatest rappers or greatest people in hip hop, but they didn't become wealthy. Now you have people who become wealthy, not even rich, wealthy. You have people who making upwards to $100 million a year because of their craft, versus back in the day. I mean, I'm sure all the older. And that's usually how it is. All the people who are the originators to something usually don't get the dividends that they deserve.
Right.
I mean, that's with anything. So.
Right. What you got, JB?
I feel like by that same token, a lot of people aren't making money off of hip hop that think that they are, or that we would think that are. Like, when we look at these videos and things, people that, flashing around these big jewelry, these big cars, these big rims, a lot of that stuff is rented. That's somebody else's,
Right.
We hear that all the time. It sounds kind of cliche now, but that's the truth about a lot of these rappers, is that they're not owning the things that they are flaunting around, and people aren't selling records like they used to.
Right.
And that's just the reality of what is being shown to us. Everything isn't real.
But I mean, cause like back in the day, they weren't selling, a ton of records. Back when they first started, they were doing it for house parties, just things to do, stuff like that. And then it went to a point to where it grew into this big billion-dollar business, And now it's, with the new wave, with technology, digital downloads, mixtapes, whatever you want to call it. Now, are you saying that we're at a point to where they're not making the money that was once being made?
Well, we have to find new ways to make money in hip hop. Like we were speaking earlier about media and how people are getting into the internet and they're taking their own money to do their own digital distribution and not pressing CDs and different things and selling their own mixtapes. That is the new wave of music, because we've seen that the Billboard charts isn't full of hip hop songs anymore. Every once in a while you get your, Jim Jones balling, you get your Party Like a Rock Star. Every once in a while we get one of those that goes to the top, and then those albums come out and they don't sell a lot of records. So, we just have to find more ways to be creative and get the music out to the people, and then get that money back to ourselves, as artists.